Hey, this is Paul from Guitar World, and what I have here is the Eventide ModFactor Stomp Box. Now, Eventide has been known to make some of the most complex and rich sounding effects in the business. And with this stomp box, it may be the only modulation stomp box you'll ever need. It is for the guitarist who wants complete control over every parameter of his modulation effects. And this thing is packed with everything. So let's take a closer look. The Eventide ModFactor offers 10 modulation effects and allows the user to store up to 40 presets. The great thing about the ModFactor is it allows you to go into bank mode or into play mode by using the foot switch over here on the side. And when you go into play mode, you can either tap tempo, your parameter, or using an optional expression pedal, you can either use that to tweak your parameters on the fly or use the secondary foot switch here to either speed up or slow down some of the effects that are already built into this ModFactor. So let's take a quick look at the front panel. It's got most of the knobs that you're familiar with on typical pedals such as chorus, flanger, and phaser. You can see we have the intensity, depth, speed, shape knob, which allows you to tweak whatever effect you're in. And of course, you have the type, which allows you to select of the 10 types of effects over here. The second tier of knobs generally controls the secondary LFO within each of the modulation effects that are within the ModFactor. So they offer additional tweakability in addition to whatever you set on the top. The ModFactor is a great pedal if you just run it straight into the amp, but truthfully, it's best served running into an effects loop or running in a stereo guitar rig. You'll get the most out of it. As you can see on the top over here, we have stereo outs and we have dual inputs. There's also an expression pedal input as well. And the great thing about Eventide is every time there's an update, you can USB into the side of this pedal and get the update to your pedal. Also, there's a guitar and line input mini toggle. So if I'm going to run directly into the amp, I'm just going to set it on guitar. And if I run it through an effects loop, I set it on line. For the purpose of this demo, I have the mini toggle set on guitar, so I'm running straight into the amp and into the guitar here, set on a clean sound. As I said before, you'll get the most out of this ModFactor pedal if you run it in a stereo configuration, which you may not be able to hear, but it really is awesome when you can use all these effects in a stereo setting. Let's begin by hearing the chorus. I have two different chorus sounds, so I'll let you hear the first one, and then I'll bounce to the second one. Here we go. Let's hear a setting which I call an aggressive phaser. Let's hear the flanger now. Let's move over to the mod filter, which is a really neat effect. Let's take a listen what that sounds like. Now let's move over to the Rotary effect, and this is one of the many modulation effects on the ModFactor where you can access play mode and sort of control how fast or slow you want the effect and even bring it to a screeching halt and then let the effect ramp up again. So let's do that. Right now I'm in bank 6, and this is the preset 2. Here it is. And then by holding the foot switch over here, you can see right over here I've accessed where the rotary is. And while doing this, I can slow it down. Let's hear that again. And you can see it ramps right back up to speed. Okay, now I'm on tremolo pan, and the same thing applies here too. I can go right into play mode and break and bring this up to speed again. So let's hear that. So you can hear how the effects slow down and gradually work its way back up to speed. Very cool. Moving over to the next effect, it's called the Undulator. It's one of my favorite effects on this pedal, and you can only find it on this pedal. And it does some really quirky sounds. Almost sounds as if you have a little bit of delay and some other hidden goodies. Let's take a listen. Here's a different variation of the undulator effect. It allows you to create something very simple and make it sound very complex. So take a listen. This is me bypassed. Here's what I'm going to play. And I'm going to put that progression through the undulator, and you'll get to hear how incredible it sounds. Let's take a listen. Finally, the ModFactor has a really awesome ring modulator. Let's take a listen. The Eventide ModFactor offers the most complete control over your modulated effects. With its complex and pristine effect sounds, it may be the ultimate modulation stomp box available. Definitely check it out.